Hello mga kaMathmates! Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Kung bago ka pa lang sa channel ko, huwag mo kalimutang mag-subscribe at i-hit mo na yung post notification bell para updated ka every time na magpo-post ako ng bagong video. Panibagong video, panibagong topic na naman ang pag-aaralan natin ngayon tungkol sa problems involving factoring of polynomials. Itong lesson na ito ay MELC 2, Application and Analysis ng MELC 1 tungkol sa iba't ibang factoring methods and techniques ng polynomials. So, ano-ano yung mga yun? We have the factoring common monomial factor, the difference of two squares, sum and difference of two cubes, perfect square trinomials, and general trinomials. So, what you will learn today is use special products and factoring to solve problems. So I know that this lesson is one of the least mastered competencies kasi maraming students ang nadi-discourage when in terms of problem solving kasi unang basa pa lang ng problem ay hindi na nila maunawaan o hindi nila alam kung ano yung gagawin. So sana after nyo mapanood tong video na to ay ma-encourage ko kayo at magkaroon kayo ng idea kung paano nga ba tayo magsosolve ng isang problems just like our first concept or topic about sa special products or factoring polynomials. And sa mga problem solving, you will be encountering different problems. So kailangan sa iba't ibang problems, we need to find ways on how we can solve it or find solution. So let's have our first problem. In a basketball league of X teams, in which every team plays every other team twice, the total number of games played is x squared minus x. Again, in a basketball league of X teams in which every team plays every other team twice, the total number of games played is x squared minus x. How many teams are there in the league that plays a total of 72 games? How many teams are there in the league that plays a total of 72 games? B. If there were 6 teams in the league, how many games in all would be played? Again, if there were 6 teams in the league, how many games in all would be played? So we need to answer those two questions. So let's have the first question. We're talking about the teams in the league wherein it plays a total of 72 games. So we need to equate x squared minus x to 72 and solve for x. So ang ating x squared minus x, that is the total number of games played, which is equal to 72. So therefore, x squared minus x equals to 72. So write in standard form para ma-factor natin. It is in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c. So ang gagawin natin sa 72, we need to get the additive inverse. So ililipat natin siya sa left side para maging trinomial. So it will become x squared minus x minus 72 equals 0. So ngayon, meron na tayong trinomial, we need to factor that. Paano ba tayo mag-factor ng trinomial wherein a equals to 1? So kukuhanin natin yung factors ng negative 72, our last term, and then yung factors na yun kapag inad natin, dapat ang sagot ay yung middle term which is negative 1. So ano ang factors ng negative 72? So negative 9 times 8 is negative 72. Kapag inad, it will give you negative 1. So therefore, the factors are x minus 9 and x plus 8 equals to 0. So again, the factor na natin yung given trinomial para masagutan yung ating question, kung ilan bang teams. Then after that, we need to equate each factor by 0. So let's start with x minus 9. So equals to 0, so therefore x equals to positive 9. How about the other one? So x plus 8 equals 0, x equals to negative 8. So So therefore, our final answer is, since the number of teams in the league cannot be -8, we discard it. Hence, there are 9 teams in the league because there will be no negative answer. Kaya ang kinuha nating sagot ay yung 9. So, there are 9 teams in the league that plays a total of 72 games. Okay, so how about the second question? So, if there were 6 teams in the league, how many games in all would be played? So, we need to substitute 6 for x in x squared minus x, that is the total number of games. So, that is x squared minus x. So, you just substitute 6 in every x. So, you have 6 squared minus 6. So, that is 6 squared is 36 minus 6 is 30. So, our final answer is 30 games in all will be played. So, if there were 6 teams in the league. So, that is for our first problem. So, let's have our problem 2. A square painting is surrounded by a 3 cm wide frame. So, if the total area of the painting plus frame is 961 square centimeters, find the dimension of the painting. Again, a square painting is surrounded by a 3 cm wide frame. If the total area of the painting plus frame is 961 square centimeters, find the dimensions of the painting. And we need to understand the problem. Again, our given is 3 cm wide frame and has a total area included yung frame which is 961 square centimeters. So in this kind of problem, so we need to illustrate the problem for us to visualize kung ano ba yung ating gagawin. So in understanding this kind of problem, so we need to draw an illustration. So wherein yung ating unang square na nasa loob, yun yung ating painting, tapos yung nasa labas, yun yung ating frame, kasama na yung ating frame. Kung mapapansin, there will be x plus 6 kasi in both side, meron siyang plus 3 and plus 3 which is plus 6. So let x be the length of each side of the painting and x plus 6 be the length of each side of the frame. So naglagay tayo dito ng given. So again, yung x ay length of each side of the painting, tapos yung nasa labas naman, ito naman yung length of each side of the frame. Again, we need to write the equation. So, ang area of square is s squared. So, that is 961 equals to x plus 6 squared. So, the area must be equal to x plus 6 squared. Okay, so let us solve the equation. Again, they are equal because yung x plus 6, that will be the dimension of the square, yung nasa labas. Yung bigger square. So, we need to square the binomials. So, x plus 6 squared, that is x squared. Then, 6 times x, then twice, that is 12x. Then, 6 squared is 36. Or you can use the FOIL method, the first, outer, inner, and the last terms. Equals to 961. Again, x plus 6 squared gives you x squared plus 12x plus 36 equals to 961. And then we need to get the additive inverse of 961. Ililipat natin sa may left side para maging trinomial. So, x squared plus 12x plus 36 minus 961 equals to 0. And then we need to simplify by subtracting 36 minus 961. That is x squared plus 12x minus 925 equals to 0. Therefore, we have trinomial that we need to factor. Same rule, kuhanin natin yung last term which is negative 925. Hahanap tayo ng factors kapag pinag-add ang sagot ay 12. So, larger number, so medyo mahirap yung pagkuha natin ng factors na makakapagbigay sa atin ng sum na 12. Because there are several factors of negative 925. And you need to get, so what would be the factors? negative 25 and 37. Because when you multiply that, it will give you negative 925 at kapag pinag-add or subtract, 37 minus 25 is 12. And then we come up to our factors x minus 25 and x plus 37 equals to 0. Then, we need to equate each factor by 0. So let's start with x minus 25 equals to 0. Therefore, x equals to positive 25. How about the other factor? X plus 37 equals to 0. Then x equals to negative 37. So the length of the side cannot be negative, hence we discard x equals to negative 37. Hence, the length of each side of the painting is 25 square centimeters. So that will be our answer for our problem number 2. Okay, for our last problem, a photocopier manufacturer finds that the revenue denoted by R in 1,000 pesos from the sale of X photocopiers is given by R of X equals to 5x squared plus X. If the cost denoted by C in 1,000 of pesos of producing X photocopiers is given by C of X equals to 4x squared plus 13x plus 64, how many photocopiers must be produced and sold in order for the manufacturer to break even? Again, a photocopier manufacturer finds that the revenue denoted by R in 1,000 pesos from the sale of X photocopiers is given by R of X equals to 5x squared plus X. If the cost denoted by C in 1,000 of pesos of producing X photocopiers is given by C of X equals to 4x squared plus 13x plus 64, how many photocopiers must be produced and sold in order for the manufacturer to break even? So let us identify first what are the given in our problem. So I know that all of you are familiar with the photocopier. So I know that photocopier is very important in producing copies. So ayan yung ating given, so yung ating revenue tsaka yung cost. And to understand the problem, so when you say break even, it means that the revenue must be equal to cost. So let X be the number of photocopies that must be produced and sold to break even. So to write the equation, we can say that according to the problem, revenue must be equal to the cost. So therefore, the two given must be equal with one another. That is, 5x squared plus x equals to 4x squared plus 13x plus 64. So the revenue must be equal to the cost. So how are we going to solve the equation? So we just combine. So nilipat natin lahat ng terms doon nasa right side sa left side by getting all the additive inverses of each term. So kaya naging negative 4x squared and then negative 13x and negative 64 must be equal to 0. Then kung mapapansin nyo, there are like terms. So what are we going to do? Combine those like terms. And what are those like terms? 5x squared and negative 4x squared and x minus 13x. So we need to subtract. So 5x squared minus 4x squared is x squared. Then x minus 13x is negative 12x. So therefore, x squared minus 12x minus 64 equals to 0. So we will be forming a trinomial that we need to factor para makuha natin yung value ni x. So we have x squared minus 12x minus 64. Okay, so let us factor the trinomial. So again, factors of negative 64, that will give you negative 12 as your middle term. So one factor is positive and then the other one is negative. So ano kayang factors ni negative 64? So negative 16 and 4. So kapag minultiply natin, Negative 64, kapag inad natin or sinubtract, it will gives you negative 12. So we write the factors as x minus 16 and x plus 4 equals to 0. And then we need to equate each factor by 0. So x minus 16 equals to 0, so x equals to 16. So the other one is x plus 4 equals to 0, then x equals to negative 4. So since the number of copiers cannot be negative, the number of photocopiers to be produced and sold is 16. So that will be our final answer. So I hope that you learned something from the problems na ni-present ko dito sa ating video tutorial. So before kayo magsagot ng inyong activity, so gusto ko muna kayong iwanan ng isang reflection. So many students are discouraged when they do problem solving. At ito din yung napapansin ko bilang isang teacher na maraming students ang nadi-discourage. At maraming reason kung bakit sila nadi-discourage. So they feel inadequate to understand the problem and solve it. Baka naman mahina yung reading comprehension nila kaya hindi nila maintindihan kung ano ba yung hinahanap at tinatanong doon sa problem. More often, it is not our lack of ability, but our own faint-heartedness that stops us from accomplishing our goals. Kasi una pa lang ay pinanghihinaan na agad ng loob. Kapag nakita ng mahirap na problem, hindi nagagawa ng solution. So remember that for every problem, there is a solution. So depende na yon sa learners or depende na yun sa tao. Basta iwanan ko lang yung isang magandang formula. So you need to have a focus plus determination equals to success. Yan yung lagi nyo tatandaan. So kailangan nyo lang mag-focus at kailangan nyo lang ng determination, and then magiging successful na kayo or ma-achieve nyo na yung kung ano yung gusto nyong ma-achieve. Katulad ng sa pagsosolve ng mga problems, no? Hindi kayo magiging successful na makuha yung final answer kung hindi kayo nagfo-focus at hindi kayo determinado na sagutan yung problem, because there are ways on how to find solution in every problems that we encounter. So I prepared 3 problems for you to answer to check your understanding regarding dun sa ni-present kong lesson kanina. So happy learning. So it's about skills in problem solving. So you need to read each problem comprehensively and answer what is being asked in the problem. So that's all for our video today. So I hope that you learned something. Don't forget to like and share it with your friends and classmates. See you on my next video tutorial. God bless us all.